So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. The iPhone event for the iPhone 12 is coming October 13th. Let us know what you want to see down below, as we're going to be preparing to pick some of those iPhones up for the comparison videos as well. Maybe this one actually probably competes quite well with those as well, the Galaxy S20 FE, but we're talking about the S20 FE versus the iPhone 11. We'll begin with the price. The Galaxy S20 FE and the iPhone 11 both launched at $699, so the same exact price point. In addition to that, they both have colorful options. I got the white iPhone, so it's not really a colorful option here, but there are colorful options for this phone. Same with the Galaxy S20 FE. There's like 6 different color options, and on the iPhone, there's quite a few as well. I'll leave a link down below to pick up the Galaxy S20 FE at $599 right now on Amazon, to each color down below in the description area of this video. Now we're going to begin with the body and design. Which one has the better body and design? Well, for me, the Galaxy FE, the S20 FE 5G has the better front screen design because that punch hole is a lot smaller than the notch. Now I know the notch houses Face ID, but right now we have an in-display fingerprint sensor, which is also very secure and more useful when you're wearing a mask currently until this whole pandemic thing ends. This seems more useful right now, and I like how this feels closer to an all screen. So from the front design, I do like the Galaxy S20 FE more. However, I like the curves a little bit more on the iPhone 11. It's a little comfortable in the hand. This is not sharp by no means, but it's a little bit, I would say it just doesn't look quite as sleek as the curved edges of the iPhone 11 here. Now they both do have flat screens, so you don't have curved displays, so keep that in mind. Taking it over to the back, I do like the Galaxy S20 FE a little bit more when it comes to the back, because it reminds me more of the iPhone 11 Pro series with that matte texture. It doesn't pick up fingerprints, nothing like that, and it does seem to have a little bit of a glimmer in the light. If you turn at different angles, it looks kind of like a fire orange or something like that, and then sometimes it definitely does look red. You can see around the edges, we do have ourselves on the Galaxy S20 FE like shiny edges, but it is aluminum right there. Volume rocker, power button, and a triple camera on the back, nothing on the sides. At the bottom, we do have ourselves USB-C. I like that jack a little bit more. Over here for the iPhone 11's design, you could see on the back, Apple logo nice and clean. I like how there's no writing on there, no IMEI numbers, nothing like that, no iPhone logo, just a clean, minimalistic Apple logo right there. I do like the camera housing here as well on the iPhone 11. I thought it was cleaner than the Pro series, and the glass back gives it a nice premium feel. The sides here of the iPhone over here definitely feeling very sturdy. I like the feel of the iPhone 11. It feels a little bit higher quality to me, the iPhone 11, just a feel in the hand. But there's other areas where the Galaxy S20 FE start to feel like the more premium phone. We'll talk about those in a minute. So overall, when it comes to design, personally, I like the Galaxy S20 FE more, just because it just looks a little bit cooler in my opinion with all screen look to the front. But you know what? The iPhone 11 still holds its own. It's still a very nice premium feel. So the area where the Galaxy S20 FE starts to destroy the iPhone, you're not going to see it much on camera, is a display. Now the display on here is a Super AMOLED display. It is 1080, whereas the iPhone 11 is not even that. We'll go to settings here, we'll go to display, and it also has the 120 Hertz. Now people say I cannot see the difference. Oh, you definitely can see the difference if you look for it. So I don't even think I applied it right there. Yeah, I didn't apply it. Let's hit standard and we'll hit apply. And you just seen immediately right there, just look at that little chop that a 60 Hertz panel does give you. So if we go over here and we put it back on high motion, and now we applied that, look how smooth that just got right there. I did record this in 60 FPS, so you can see this clearly. Definitely a smoother panel. Again, on camera, the OLED to LCD difference is not picked up that easy, but in person, a much more saturated panel. Now over here for the iPhone 11, what's nice about this one is it does include True Tone. We don't have that feature on the Galaxy S20 FE, but I found all you have to do is go ahead, take this thing over to blue light filter, lower the blue light filter kind of down in this range, and it kind of feels like it's on True Tone anyway. So if you want that kind of feel, that's all you have to do on the Samsung, but still True Tone on here. We do have a dark mode and a night shift. The LCD panel just doesn't look sharp compared to this S20 FE. This S20 FE just looks much more like a better display. That's the best way I could put it over this iPhone 11. This iPhone 11's display needs an update in my opinion. However, it's still functional. It still works. But when you put it side by side with the FE, it just has a better panel overall. It's higher in the text, like it has a higher PPI. It has a better saturation. You can also make it like not as saturated if you don't want. Just go to screen modes, knock it down to natural, and there you go. You don't have to have it overly saturated, more colorful display. It competes better with like an 11 Pro Max than the 11. So hands down a win, the display on the FE. Talking about the differences in their software, we don't need to spend much time on this to see that they're very similar yet very different. Similar in that you have apps on your home screen. You can go ahead and add widgets if you want on both of them, but one is running iOS. Over here for the Samsung, you have the ability to theme things out. You have the ability to customize to your heart's content on basically everything for the Samsung. You can also go ahead and go to widgets and just really just customize to your heart's content again. And it doesn't stop there. You can do so much with the Play Store. In addition to that, if we go over here into home screen settings, you could even make it just a home screen only with no app drawer. So unlike iOS 14, which now has an app library you cannot turn off, you can actually turn off the app drawer here on the FE and just have a total just home screen layout if you like that. So now it's like the Samsung phone has iOS-like feature with just the home screen here. So do like that about the phone. And again, with the Samsung, you do have things that the iPhone cannot offer you in pop view. We can pop view things like this. Let me bring that up there. We'll go to the weather. We'll pop that thing right there. Have another window right here. Yeah, it could be a little bit tedious. Who's going to do this on a small screen? But when you need it, it's there. It's nice. You can also have app pairs like this, have two different things going on at one time. Pretty amazing right there. In addition, the edge windows allow you to do some more, app pairing and multitasking here. So a lot more multitasking when it comes to the ability to close out applications that were already open. You can hit a close all there. With the iPhone, you still have to swipe them away 2 at a time, 3 at a time if you have 3 fingers, or 1 at a time. Still, I would say the iPhone a little bit more minimal. It does add a little bit complexity with the widgets, but still, there's more you can do still with the Samsung device. So if you want more features, you probably want the Samsung device. If you want some widgets, but you still want that minimal feel, you'll still like the iPhone more. Okay guys, so when it comes to performance, Snapdragon 865 on here, it's getting to a point where this is why I haven't done speed tests in a while, is because these phones are just getting so fast. It seems almost pointless at this point. I still will compare some of the older iPhones, but these newer phones, next to these newer phones, the chip just seems like a marketing term these days. Yes, I know the iPhone long term with its A13, it might be ahead technically speaking, but in the real world, these Samsung devices with their new fast motion displays, these beast Qualcomm chips, high levels of RAM, again, 6 gigs of RAM here versus 4 on the 11. They're just giving you great performance even in the long term. So I didn't really notice a big difference in performance between both of these, except for the Samsung has a smoother display in the 120 Hertz. Other than that, they both perform admirably well in basically every task. I will say they both will, if you have too many applications open, they both will sometimes reload an app though, if you have too many open at once, just due to the fact they don't have 8, 12, 16 gigs of RAM, stuff like that. When it comes to storage, the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE is the better value because you can expand the memory. Now over here for the iPhone, you're gonna have to pay to go up in storage tiers. And if you go to the 256 gig iPhone 11, I think Apple's kind of ripping people off with that 64 gigabyte starting storage, especially at $699. It should probably be like $599 for that kind of storage. But still, the Apple storage, if you don't need all that space, then maybe it'll be fine for you. But for me, I like the Galaxy S20 FE better with that 128 gigabytes base. Now talking about the cameras, I did go out and shoot some samples between both of these, and I was surprised how well they stacked up next to each other. It was basically a pretty close performance on both of them, with the edge still in video to the iPhone. So if I hit photo here, you'll see the Samsung does take a second, locks in. You do have a telephoto zooming camera on here though, can do a 3x up to 30 as well. You can get really far. And you have a wider field of view on the wide angle. Now, in addition to that, on the Samsung, I like how everything is just laid out really easily there for you to go ahead and tweak things out. You can do up to 4K 60 on the front and the rear of the Galaxy S20 FE. You can also change out your Pro video sizes here as well. If we go to more, you'll notice that the Samsung does have a night mode, a Pro video mode, super slow, slow motion, live focus video, live focus. So it's got basically every feature you would want and a camera phone. Now over here on the iPhone, I do like how this does feature similar features to the iPhone 11 Pro. You do have the 16:9 resolution. Again, I feel like the wide angle is just a little bit wider on the Galaxy S20 FE. You have portrait modes, panoramic modes. It does have a night mode that activates when it senses that it's too dark. You'll see right here in photo mode up there in the left corner right there. You can see it does have a night mode. Right there, slow motion, time lapse. It does do 4K 60 on the front and the rear as well. You can also change your video controls right up there, which I found very handy. That's actually more handy than the Samsung device where you have to go into the settings to change the video. But still, at least that settings is right in the camera. These cameras are pretty much a wash. I probably wouldn't choose them based on the camera alone unless you really count on video. If you're using video like for your video creation tool, you'll probably still want the iPhone just because it's a little bit more reliable, but still both of them are very good. And then looking at the front-facing cameras, I did find that the Samsung phone took very sharp front-facing photos, but they were a little bit, the color was a little bit not my taste. It was a little bit cooler. The iPhone has this more pleasing warm tone on the front. You could probably see this on camera too. I mean, yeah, it looks a little more yellow on the camera, but Samsung very sharp here. But again, I just thought the skin tones look better on the iPhone, so keep that in mind. Take a look at these samples and let me know your thoughts on which one had the better camera. When it comes to audio,
Galaxy S20 FE 5G, what a name, for the past few days, and it's been
both have stereo sound, including the Galaxy.
pretty exceptional. I'm going to talk to you about...
By the way, since we're looking at a video, I wanted to show you that the punch hole just doesn't cut into content as much.
my experience with it so far, and if you stick around to the end, I'm also going to give you my thoughts about it compared
Just
to...
really nice experience watching video on the Galaxy S20 FE. Now over here for the iPhone 11, we'll go over here.
Spec refresh. If you don't remember, a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display on the front here.
The video looks pretty good here as well.
Here, this is a 1080p panel. We do have a triple camera on the rear, 12 megapixel plus 12 megapixel plus 8 megapixel.
But because it's a lower resolution, the notch cuts into the content a little bit more. It's definitely not a better video watching experience than the FE, but the audio.
On the back, there's 6 gigs of RAM.
Clearly, this speaker is louder than the top one, but they both sound pretty similar. So again, audio great on both of them for the money. Also, I would say that having no headphone jack seems like an omission for the Samsung, because Samsung usually in their middle range priced phones usually gives you a headphone jack, but no headphone jack there, no headphone jack here. Both of them do have very fast Bluetooth 5.0 though, so connections will happen really quickly. And one of the most important areas of a comparison video that people really care about when they're buying a new phone is the battery life. And it's the same story here with Samsung and Apple that I've talked about before if you've been subscribed to the channel a long time. The Samsung phone, it doesn't stay on 100 as long as the iPhone 11. But once it gets past like that 100 to 90 range, it just lasts and lasts. The iPhone actually has great standby time, but actually worse usage time. So with this iPhone 11, I get around 6 hours. With the Galaxy S20 FE, I'm getting around 7 to 8 hours screen time. So 4,500 milliamp hour battery is much larger than the one in the iPhone 11, which is a 3,110 milliamp hour battery. So much larger battery, and it shows that they're in real usage. But again, if you like great standby, this one sips battery in standby. This one does not. And a couple of pros to the Samsung experience is that you do have fast reverse wireless charging and fast wireless charging, and of course, fast charging included in the box. iPhone 11 doesn't give you a fast charger in the box. It gives you a 5-watt. The iPhone 11 Pros gave you the fast chargers, but this does have wireless charging as well. The Samsung still charged faster than the 11 and has more charging options. So I like the battery experience just better on the Samsung, but I love that standby. So once Samsung gets the standby correct, Apple will basically have lost everywhere around the board in this category. And discussing phone call quality connectivity, this is a win to the Samsung. 5G performance on here. It's not the fastest 5G I've noticed, but still great overall connectivity. I've had more signal strength with this thing. This one right here, not bad. It's very usable. I'm not saying it's the worst, but it just doesn't win out here. I've had lower bars in most situations than the Galaxy, and just less overall, connectivity with the mobile performance, because you're looking at a 4G LTE phone versus a 5G phone. So again, Apple iPhone 12 series will probably better compete with this one right here in the Galaxy S20 FE. Finally, resale value. And here's where iPhone's still gonna win. iPhone, the brand, the resale value is just better. I think the Galaxy S20 FE will tank in resale value over time, just because it's not even their top tier phone. It's definitely not, and it started at $699. So I would expect this one to drop massively in price over time, whereas this one's gonna hold its value. But at the end of the day, which phone is the winner? And for me, you probably noticed throughout this video, I've been leaning more towards the Galaxy S20 FE, and that's just because I think it's a more well-rounded phone. It has more cameras on board. I think it actually competes better with something like the 11 Pro Max, to be honest. Similar size screen, similar feeling back. And a lot of people have been worried, how does that back feel? You would be fooled into thinking this is glass. This feels very nice here on the back. It doesn't feel almost any different than the 11 Pro on the back. The only difference is the 11 Pro has a little bit more weight. The 11 though, still an excellent Apple iPhone right here. It just compromises in too many ways for me to give it the win over the Galaxy S20 FE 5G. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this whole video, we do have DeX support as well. You could turn this into a little computer with just a keyboard, a USB cord, and a mouse, and a monitor, and you'll be basically running this thing in DeX mode. And lastly, I should also mention software support. 3 years of updates here, 5 years. So that can be a total win for the iPhone 11 experience. Let me know which one you would pick down below in the comment section of the video. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'd love to know. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.